Parshat Chayei. We begin this week with the passing of Sarah Imenu, Sarah, our matriarch, and in telling us about her life, the Torah uses a very strange way in telling us how long she lived. It opens by saying, Vayiyu Chayei Sarah, it was the life of Sarah, Mea Shana, 100 years, Esrim Shana, 20 years, Vesheva Shanim, and 7 years. And the obvious question that is asked is, why does the Torah use this sort of roundabout, lengthy way of telling us that she lived for 120 years? Why does it not simply say she lived 127 years? What is it trying to, or more importantly, what is the Torah trying to teach us by saying it in this way? Classic commentator Rashi, he brings his own explanation for why this is, and he says, Bas Kuf Kabas Chaf, the Torah is teaching us that when she was 100, it was like she was 20. When she was 20, it was like she was 7, and so on. An explanation I'd like to share with you, so what was it about her 120, is that the Torah is praising the life of Sarah, the way she lived. We all know that there are certain advantages, should we say, of being young, and certain advantages of being old. Certain advantages of being old, for example, hopefully, age brings a certain sense of maturity, a certain sense of one is more settled. The older one gets, the more settled we are, both in our mind, in our lifestyle, and we have a stronger sense of maturity out of our experiences in life. The advantages of being young, of course, are that we have energy, passion, life, vitality, so on. What the Torah is telling us about Sarah over here is that when she was 100, she lived as if she was 20. She still had the same passion, the same youthfulness, the same energy for her life and for the work that she did to help her husband Abraham in the service of Hashem. And when she was 20, she had the certain sense of maturity that usually only age brings. And this was a great compliment and a great praise to Sarah, our matriarch. The matriarchs and the patriarchs are people that we're meant to emulate, look up to. And this is what we should try to achieve. Ensure that we carry this through us. When we are older, it's like we are young with the advantages it brings. And when we are young, we should try and be like we are older with the advantages that brings to it. When Sarah passes away, we all know that Abraham set about purchasing a plot of land in Hebron to bury her, now the Ma'arat HaMachpelah, the cave of Machpelah. And he purchased this from Ephron, the Hittite. And it's interesting to look at the passage where he interacts with the people, and particularly when he's speaking to Ephron. When they speak to Abraham, they use a certain turn of phrase. They say, Shema'enu Adoni. Here, my Lord, my Master. They refer to him as Adoni, my Lord, my Master. When Abraham is responding, he never refers to them in the same way, which seems a little rude. Surely he's about to negotiate a good deal, a good price for this land that he so desperately wants. He would hopefully react to them and interact with them in the same way they did, maybe being polite, being courteous, but he doesn't. And the reason for this is very simple, because they use the word Adoni, which means master or Lord, which Abraham used exclusively for Hashem. The Talmud tells us that until Abraham came on this world, nobody called Hashem Master. Nobody called God Master. And in fact, one of the names that we use for Hashem is a very similar one, where we talk about Hashem as our Master. And so he wanted to retain that exclusive right to use the word Master or Lord for Hashem, and therefore it's not that he was being rude. It was simply that he didn't feel comfortable in referring to somebody as a Master or Lord, when for him, particularly in his day and age, when he was trying so hard all of his life to spread the name of Hashem, monotheism, as being the one Lord, the one Master of the universe, he felt uncomfortable doing so at that point. He purchases this land, he buries Sarah there, and then the Torah tells us, Avraham zaken ba bayamim, Avraham was old, he had come of days. What does this mean, he was old and he had come of days? Surely this is one and the same thing. What the Torah is telling us here is that yes, he was old, but age can also be simply a number. We have reached a certain age which makes us in the category of old people. That was the Zaken. He was old. He had reached a mature age. But there was something else. Bar Bayomim. There was something else that he came of days. He had arrived at his age Bayomim with days. What does that mean? That his days were full. He utilized every single moment of his day in the service of Hashem. And that age that he had arrived to was not only simply a matter of numbers, but also a certain sense of fulfillment, maturity, that he had come to that time with every single one of the days of his life fulfilled. And that is the idea of being old and being and the age that the Torah not only refers to with Avram, we've seen already from Sarah, there's more than just a number that is required of us to reach a certain age. We need to make sure we fill every single one of the days within that time in the service of Hashem. And that's what Abraham had done. And this was a praise to Abraham that he was not only old in number, but also in the way he utilized his time. We then have later on in this week's portion the episode with Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, being commanded by his master Abraham, being sent on a mission to find a wife for Yitzchak, Isaac, the second patriarch. And we know the story. He comes to the well and he asks God, he says to Hashem, please give me a sign, or I will give you a sign if it's fulfilled. I know this is the one that Abraham wants for his son. And Rivka comes to the well, and the well, as the Medrash tells us, comes up to the water is raised to water, and he approaches her and says, will you give me to drink and also to my camels? And she does exactly that, and he sees this is the type of person, Isha, this is the type of woman that my master wants for his son. Why? Because Abraham was Ish Chesed, a man of kindness. And so who would be an appropriate person to marry Abraham's son? Namely, Rivka, who showed a great sense of kindness. And then we see he does something very interesting. Vayikach Ha'ish, the man took Nehezem Zahav, a nose ring, Beka Lagul Koiles. Its weight was a Beka, or Shnei Tzemidim Al Yodeha, and also two bracelets on her, gave her two bracelets on her hand. Asara Zahav Mishkalam, 10 gold was their weight. Now, the Torah, as I've said in the past, is very careful to tell us things, not because they are details of a story that are of interest, but they teach us a lesson. They give us an idea of some more background. What was going on here? Why did the Torah have to tell us the exact weight of what he gave and what items he gave? It could have just said he gave a gift, he gave her jewelry. What does it concern us? He was hinting over here to the three pillars that the Torah stands on. We know in Perek, in Ethics of Our Fathers, it says, Ashlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, on three things the world stands, upon three things: Torah, Avoda, Gemilas Chasadim. The study of Torah, the service of Hashem, and acts of kindness. What he saw over here was that Rivka, she expressed acts of kindness. She showed kindness. He was hinting to her that she also needs the other two. She needs Torah and Avodah. As Rashi says, the Torah was the two bracelets represented the two tablets, the luchos, and the 10 gold represented the 10 commandments on that, saying to her, you need to have not only kindness, but also Torah learning. And then he referred to Beka, the weight of the nose ring was the same the same weight that was given for the half shekel in the temple, which was used to purchase the sacrifices. The sacrifices, of course, are the ultimate service to Hashem. And therefore he was saying, you have Gemilas Chasadim, you have kindness, but you also need Torah in the form of the 10 commandments and the two tablets, and you also need to have the service of Hashem as represented in this nose ring, Beka Lagul Goles. Always keep with you all of these three attributes, because, as we know, these are the three things upon which the world relies, the world survives and exists. In order for the world to exist, we all need to maintain these three aspects of our life.